have you ever seen a Star Wars movie, or have you seen all the Star Wars movies? Now, if you have seen any of the Star Wars movies, you should at least know one of these two characters. You have Anakin Skywalker, who when he grew up became a Jedi, soon became Darth Vader. And then his son, Luke Skywalker, when he grew up, was the same as his father, and soon met his father too. Now, one of the really cool things that I found in common about these two characters is that when they were both in battle, how their arms chopped off and had to get prosthetic limbs attached onto them so they could have arms again. Now, you may know who those characters are, but do you know who these people are? This young boy's name is Alex Pring, and when he was born without an arm. So, Albert Monero and a team of grad students at the University of Central Florida built Alex Pring a prosthetic limb. And the really cool thing about this prosthetic limb is that it was made to work with his brain. And another cool thing is that Iron Man actually made Alex Pring's arm look like an Iron Man hand. Hello, my name is Nicholas McKinley. I'm 13 years old. I'm currently going to Holy Spirit Preparatory School, and I'm in the 7th grade. So today I'll be going over how prosthetics have gone from science fiction to science fact. And I'll be going over these few points. What is a prosthetic? How I've become interested in this subject, the research, the simple research that I've done, what the experts are doing on this subject, and the challenges to development on this subject. Now, you may be asking, what exactly is a prosthetic? And this is what it is. It is an artificial substitute for a missing part of the body, usually an arm or a leg. Now you have prosthetics, but one thing that ties into a lot of prosthetics are simple machines. For this simple prosthetic over here, a wheelchair, it uses a wheel and axle to make the wheelchair move. For this prosthetic leg over here, it uses a screw. And using this screw can make the foot connect to the leg. And with the screw, you can unscrew the foot and put in different foots to make the leg usable for different things. And for these other prosthetic limbs, they use pulleys to make the hands and prosthetics work. Now, ever since I've been a little boy, I've had a big interest in robotics and engineering and all that sort of stuff. And one of the things that I first found out about it when I was a little boy is that my family and I would watch a show that showed about kids who had prosthetic limbs and how they would live their lives. And so from this, I would always want to build robots, and I was just really interested in the subject. And one day, my family watched the movie Dolphin Tale. And after that, that is what really sparked me to get into this subject. So when I was 9 years old, my family and I went to Georgia Tech Center for Prosthetic and Orthotic Research and Education. And when we went there, we met a man, and his name is Mr. Robert Kissenberg. And when we met him, he showed us what prosthetics were and how they worked and just what they were in general. So as you can see here, I've drawn a diagram of what the hand looks like. These right here are muscles, and these red lines are called tendons, and using the muscles and tendons make our hand move. Now, as you can see here, I've made my own robotic hand, and me pulling on these strings acts as the muscles, and the yellow strings are the tendons, and doing that makes this hand move. Now, last January, I went to Georgia Tech again, and I went to Mr. Robert Kissenberg, and I took that hand and I asked him what I can do to make this hand better. And based on the research that he gave me is what I used to make my science fair. So with the research that he gave me to improve my hand, so the hands have certain cuts in certain places, and based on where those cuts are, makes how the hand move and works. You can see where I made the cuts, and for actually one of the hands, I gave it an opposable thumb. So what I did is I chose 4 different people, and I made them pick up a few of these things. A paperclip, a pencil, apple, an empty Coke can, and a water bottle. Now first I made them pick it up with their regular hand, and then I made them pick it up with the robotic hands that I had made. And then I recorded the results. And what I got was, none of the hands worked as well as your real hand. Stronger isn't always better, and it made the hand heavier and harder to use. Now one other thing that I noticed is that my sister right here is using one of the heavier and harder hands, and she is looking very frustrated while using it. But my dad right here is also using one of the bigger and heavier hands, but he's looking very calm, and he's picking up an apple, which is a pretty heavy item for one of the hands. Creativity, which was the greatest impact of the user, and the attitude to accept the challenge. The ease of use and the time. If it was too hard to use or took up too much time, the user gave up. Now, there are a lot of places that are focusing on this topic right now, but I have outlined two to show to you. You have Johns Hopkins University, where the prosthetics that they are mainly focusing on is prosthetic arms and hands. So what they are doing is anthropomorphic, lifelike form factor and appearance. So how does the prosthetic limb look like our normal arm? Human-like strength and dexterity. How are they getting the prosthetic limb to work like our normal arm would? High-resolution tactile and positioning sensing. So how are they getting the hand or prosthetic arm to feel what we feel? As you can see, for this prosthetic hand right here, there is a bunch of sensors which make the hand feel. And one of the things that I found out is with the hand here, where a lot of the sensors are where some of the cuts in the hand that I made. And then you have neural interface for intuitive and natural control, what that basically means is how are they getting the prosthetic limb to work with people's brain. And then you have MIT, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and the prosthetics that they're focusing on is prosthetic legs and feet. And then you have Hugh Herb, who is currently being called the leader of the bionic age, and he is the leader of the prosthetics program at MIT. So what they are doing is exterior interface mechanical. How does the prosthetic limb attach to the human body? Dynamic, does it move like skin and flesh? An electrical interface, how does it work with the own body's nervous system? Now one of the things that I found out is that these are actually very similar to each other. And one of the ways that I found out about Hugh Herb was from TED Talks, and as you can see right here, he has two prosthetic limbs himself. Now, one really cool thing that I found out is that these are not only the challenges that I am facing, but the challenges that the experts are facing on this topic. So you have attitude of flexibility. If you have a person who is depressed about having a prosthetic limb, they're not going to want to use it. Appearance, is it lifelike or is it cool? If you have a kid who is being bullied about having a prosthetic limb, he's not going to want to use it. But if it is lifelike, one, people will not even know. Or if it is really cool, people will be really interested and will want them to show them how to use it. Exterior interface or attach. So how are they getting the prosthetic limb to attach to the human body? For this prosthetic leg over here, it uses a socket. And with this socket, a human can just pull it up on their leg. Size and weight. For this 7-year-old child, he has had to go through 7 different pairs of prosthetic limbs to match with his size and his weight. The ease of use. If you have a prosthetic limb that takes an hour to just pick up 1 penny, they're going to rather use their other arm. But if it works as well as your normal arm, they can use that one too. And this is the hardest challenge that people are facing on this topic right now, the electrical neural interface. So how are they getting the prosthetic limb to work with people's brain? Now today I have gone over how prosthetics have gone from science fiction to science fact. Thank you for watching my presentation, and I have my research from a science fair in my hands if you would actually like to try them.